What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Wealth Not Weight. I'm your host, as always, Joseph Coizza, and in today's episode we are talking about my thoughts on education. Now, as many of you know, if you watched the channel for a while, I'm not a big school system advocate. I'm not someone who's super, go to college and do this and do that, for many reasons. Now, first off is, why the fuck should you care if you're just meeting me for the first time on my thoughts on education? A little bit of rundown is something that's really important, is knowing yourself. I knew from a very early age that I was good at school. In the gifted program, I got really good grades. I did pretty well leading up into middle school, and of course in middle school, 7th grade, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna buckle down, I'm gonna do my fucking hardest, because everybody told me I could achieve whatever I put my mind to, at least growing up. As you get older, you start to get less and less of that, which I really think is a shame, because that's really more when you need it, or just as much as you are when you're a kid. You really need that support as you enter adulthood, but a lot of people don't get that. But of course, still being a kid, I got a lot of that, and especially being someone who's smart, recommended for a lot of things. In 7th grade, I really buckled down and got straight A's with a good amount of harder work, especially when the year before in 6th grade, I was failing math, not doing super good. It took a lot of wonderful teachers for me to get through it and learn and enjoy it, at least, because it wasn't something that I was really good at. I also didn't know my multiplication tables. I still don't, which for someone who works with numbers a lot, that's, not embarrassing to admit, because as long as it works out in the end, that's all that matters. Essentially, the whole goal is I wanted to get straight A's, and I got straight A's for pretty much the entire year. I think there was one semester in there at the time where I didn't, but I got straight A's pretty much the entire year and ended it with straight A's. So yay me. After that, I just kind of stopped putting all that effort in. I just stopped working hard, especially then when it came to algebra. I stayed for the EOCs and did all that and passed and did well, but not great, and sometimes not even well. Leaving into high school, I did really good for the most part. Again, senior year, kind of phoned it in. I'd show up and tell people I'm just visiting for today and park in the visitor spot. I made my own schedule, so as you would see at least, I would have done well, but I didn't do as good as I could have. And then moving into college, without getting into the whole story, as you guys will see, I'll link back to that video where I did it. I went to college for a little bit, didn't do super well, didn't apply myself, because I knew it wasn't for me. I know education is extraordinarily important. Any person who's successful will tell you to go out and get an education. What education means to me isn't just going to school. It isn't just getting a degree. It isn't just passing classes. It's what you fucking know. It's what you learn, it's what you go through in that experience. Especially someone who, my father graduated high school, but he never went to college and got a degree. My mother graduated high school, but never went to college and got a degree. My father being someone who, I looked up to a lot earlier in life, and owning a business and doing well, for a lot of people would just be happy to have that. I'm very grateful for that. But at the end of the day, he didn't get that from a formal education. I knew also that a lot of what I learned, and learning from people like Steve Jobs at a young age, and watching things online and reading books and doing stuff, formal education doesn't teach you to go out and be a leader, and don't do all that. And I knew that's something I wanted to do. So something that's really important with education is knowing yourself, learning about yourself first and foremost. That is the best form of education you can do, is knowing yourself, looking inside yourself. What do I want? What am I good at? What am I not good at? What do I want to be? How do I get from where I am to where I want to be? And what process can I do that? By knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, what you want, what you don't want from life, and having all these experiences. That's one of the best forms of education you could ever get. And I knew school wasn't going to do that for me. A lot of experiences going and partying and doing things, but I just knew it wasn't for me. So ultimately I decided to leave college and work at the restaurant at the time full time. And I'm not advocating for everybody to do that. I'm definitely not talking about it. And that's what all my standards of education is. I'm not advocating for people to leave college. I'm not advocating for people to just quit school and, do whatever. I'm advocating for people to know themselves. If you're someone who wants to be an entrepreneur, who wants to build businesses, who wants to go out in the world and make something from nothing, school may not be the best option for you, especially if you have to take out an extraordinarily large amount of debt, which, by the way, you cannot get out of if you claim bankruptcy. One of the few forms of debt that you can't be done, maybe even the only form of debt that can't be done like that, if you claim bankruptcy, is a student loan, and a lot of people have them. As we know, we are in a student loan crisis, but maybe we'll make another video about that. I'm not an advocate of that. Ultimately, college is a business. Advanced education is a business. Even in high school, look, you have all these businesses, all these companies. You notice your textbooks are made by the same fucking people. Education is a business. Yes, it does wonderful things. Yes, it teaches you math and teaches you basics of life. I get that. But ultimately, for a lot of people, it's a business. They make money off it. Their goal isn't for you to be super successful in life. It's to make their money. And it also may take you down a different path. If you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or something, education is extraordinarily fucking important. But like I said, if you want to be a business person, if you want to go into trade school, an electrician, a plumber, you may not need college. An aircraft technician, they don't need college. They go to a specific type of school for that. You know, it's like a college, but it's a technical school. Education is what you know, what you learn. It's not the degree you have. Everybody knows someone who has a degree who doesn't know their right from their left. I guarantee you know someone who you look at them and you're just like, how the fuck do you have a degree? But they spend exuberant amounts of money and they got the degree. I guarantee you know somebody else too who doesn't have a formal education, but is wise beyond their years. Maybe not a genius, don't get me wrong, but someone who's wise beyond their years, who is happy with their life. They may not be making exuberant amounts of money, but they are where they want to be, doing what they want with the people they want. Isn't ultimately that the goal in life, to be happy? So that's essentially what my thoughts and my feelings on education is, to know yourself. Know yourself and find out what you want. The one-size-fits-all model that really pissed me off in high school, and it really bothered me in the track, and that's something I talked to my brother a lot about, being younger and kind of going towards that. You know, now he's gonna have to start picking out colleges if that's something he wants to do. He's really interested in film studies, really interested in sports and sports management and stuff. There's a lot of degrees that could really help him with that. A lot of experiences, a lot of going places, a lot of film studies and schools and stuff that could really advance his career and help. I'm a huge advocate for that. And if there's anything I can do to help him with that, I'll do it. But if he said, hey, I want to build a business. If he said, hey, I want to do this thing, or I want to be a trade school, I want to be a plumber, I want to be an electrician, I want to be a garbage man, whatever it may be, or a sanitation worker. But at the end of the day, if that's something he wanted to do, schooling isn't required for that. The experience is required. What you know is required. What you can do is required. A degree just shows people you have competency, and even the most successful people in the world don't hire purely off a degree. Elon Musk says, listen, if you show up and you know your shit, and you're like, yeah, this is the person, this is the motherfucker who'll do it. But you don't have a degree, he's gonna hire you anyway. It doesn't fucking matter. But if you show up and you have a degree and he's looking and you're like, yeah, I really don't trust this guy. Like, I'm gonna hand him a power tool. Oh fuck, we're gonna have her working on batteries. Yeah, I don't know about that one. It doesn't matter if you have a degree or not, because you don't know the information. That's the important, is you know it, you can use it, and you can work with it. I know that a lot of what I've been learning, a lot of what I've done, things like investing, like look at the whole fucking wall of books I got going on. You tell me if you read every single one of these books and you act on it. Don't just read and be like, yeah, I read all these books. You actually act on it and do something with it. From some of the most successful people in the world, you have presidents from the right and the left. You have billionaires, you have people who were broke, you have financial mentors, business mentors, you have things on science, you have things on fucking comic books, on how to tell a story through illustration, things on how to write stories. Just these huge amounts of education. That brings me to my next point. Is education, like I said, isn't just schooling, it's what you know and how you learn it. YouTube, what you're watching this on right now, you have the internet at your fingertips. Even just scrolling through TikTok, I guarantee you found somebody who's worth many millions, if not billions of dollars, who's trying to give you a little bit of advice and information. And while it may not be good, while it may not be useful for you in that moment, there are people out there who have genuine advice. There's interviews with Warren Buffett, Kevin O'Leary, Elon Musk, these real rich people who've done things, or I guarantee you there's someone in your field who, if you want to learn something, you want to learn about making t-shirts, that's where I learned everything about making t-shirts. Go on YouTube, learn this, learn that. You want to learn about reselling? That's where you learn most of it. And then, of course, the experience. Education for me is what I know and what I've learned. I guarantee you, in this time that I've spent, instead of going to school, I have a full-time education, and that's viewing things on YouTube, learning things, going through reselling, reading all these books, reading at least an hour a day, and doing something and learning about life, and then going out and experiencing life. I like to travel, I like to do things, I like to talk to people, I like to meet people. You meet a wide variety of people when you're doing business and you're learning and you travel and you just look things up on YouTube. You find all these people with these different experiences and you really get exposed to the world when you're doing it. And that to me is an education, at least again for me, knowing yourself, more of a benefit than any school can ever have given me, fucking ever. Ever. I promise you that. This is something more. I'm getting my education, and people now will graduate. I'm super happy from it. I don't want to take that away from people. You worked very hard. You got a degree. That is amazing. Good luck, and I wish you the best in the future. Very, very proud you've done that. And I've had friends who've done that, and I congratulate them, and I think it's amazing that you've done that, because that's your path. But for something like me, this is my education. And I know it's a lot of people's out there too, so I don't want you to feel like you're forced into something. I want you to feel like you're forced into a way of life that isn't yours, because you have to live your way of life. It's your life. You get one of them, as far as we know. live it the way you need to. So go through, look things up on YouTube. That's how you get free education for free. You can get information from the best minds in the world for free. You want to watch something about astrophysics? Probably best to ultimately get a degree if that's the field you want to go in, but you want to learn something about it? Guess what? Fucking Stephen Hawking's right there for you. You need to know basics, want to know that. You want to learn something about business? Fuck going to school. You can learn everything you need to know, one, from doing it in the experience, which is infinitely vital. But then two, also going to YouTube and learning things online, reading books, and genuinely trying to just get the information and working hard. And then finally, of course, other than just the general knowledge and free information and things for cheap and all that wonderful source of information that's out there, getting the experience. I've had experiences beyond those of my years that will help me infinitely on my journey specifically, because I went out and had the experience and I know myself and what I need to do. I learned about business, I learned about reselling, I learned about marketing, I learned about communication, negotiation, talking to people, video creation, everything. There is a fucking masterclass of information I've learned at 22 years old just from learning and studying the things that I know I need in life and the things that I found out I needed in life. I didn't know I was interested in photography until I learned it and I realized that's a skill. Now I can make a shit ton of money from photography if I so choose. I could use it in my creative endeavors, and I could use it as breakdowns and metaphors to compare it, because everybody knows everything's connected in life. And I could compare that all to the other things. Okay, here's what I need for photography. I could kind of make a metaphor in my head. Here's how I could approach a new situation with business, with conversation, with shoes, with sports, whatever it may be. And I guarantee you I'll have a leg up than if I didn't have that information and that experience. Experience is one of, if not the absolute fucking best thing you can do for the information and schooling in your life. That's what I want to leave you guys on, and know that if you feel like you have a different path in life, knowing yourself, you know what you want, you know what you need to go for, and if you don't, go out there and experience it, try new things, figure shit out, fucking fail. Failure is a fucking great teacher. Get your heart broken, fuck things up, spend a little money and be like, I really fucked this up, and now I know I'm never going to do that again. Especially if you're young and you're coming out of high school, you're going into college, or you're in college, you're under 30, if you're fucking over 60, whatever, it doesn't matter. Having that experience and getting that knowledge and learning is the best form of education you could ever get. And if you know yourself and you know that a traditional education isn't for you, then the type of education you need is experience and knowledge. So I hope you guys like this video, and let me know what's the best form of education you've gotten that's not been in a classroom. I hope you guys like this video. If you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.